Legend of Yufei Chapter 26.
Emperor Gaozong has just gotten rid of Zhang Bangchang. Right away, he faces another crisis. So he sends his top general, Yu Fei, out with 1,000 soldiers, their job. Confront these guys labeled as bandits just outside the city. Yu Fei rides out. He meets figures like Tang Huai and Yu Gao, and they immediately, hail him as Big Brother. Familiar terms. But here's the twist. Yu Fei, sounding really angry apparently, declares he's there to arrest them.
Yeah, and what's just fascinating is what happens next. Or rather, what doesn't happen. There's no fight at all. These so-called bandits, we're talking 8 main guys, and their entire army, they just bind themselves up. Total surrender. They set up camp outside the city, just waiting for whatever the emperor decides. It really makes you wonder, who were these people really? And why just give up instantly like that?
Exactly. I mean, can you imagine the report going back to the court? Yu Fei went out, didn't even have to fight. The other side just, tied themselves up. Must have seemed bizarre.
It certainly must have. So when they're brought before Emperor Gaozong, Tang Huai explains everything. He says, look, we weren't actual rebels. We were comrades. We fought with Yu Fei before, but... And afterwards, things got incredibly tough. The text uses this phrase, bilai jam. Basically, a peck of rice was worth a pearl.
Wow. So extreme poverty, starvation almost.
Exactly. It shows just how bad things were economically. And on top of that, China was effectively leaderless for a year, or felt that way. Plus, there were rumors flying around that Grandmaster Zhang
Bangchang
hurting Yu Fei was... So they'd simply gathered together to, protect Yu Fei. As soon as they saw Yu Fei was okay and in charge, they were happy to surrender. They knew their loyalty was to the right cause, essentially.
And the emperor's reaction is just powerful. Apparently, he actually sheds tears. He calls them true righteous warriors. Right then and there, he doesn't just order them unbound. He promotes all 8 of them, makes them vice general in chief. And Yu Fei, he just promoted too to vice marshal. Plus, their whole army, the one that just surrendered, gets absorbed right into the imperial forces. Suddenly, Yu Fei has command of a massive force, 100,000 troops, ready to go. So what's the takeaway here for you? It's more than just loyalty, isn't it? It's about how understanding people, shared history, and maybe even a really clever performance of submission can completely change the game. It goes from potential conflict to promotion and building military strength, almost like psychological maneuvering, turning enemies into allies. So they've got this unexpected boost in strength, but then, a much bigger problem appears on the horizon, a totally different kind of challenge. And this is where things get really interesting strategically. Our sources tell us the invading Jin forces, they're led by the 4th Prince Wuzu, a really formidable guy. And he's got this colossal army.
300,000 troops. And they've marched all the way to the Yellow River. But then they stop. They're stuck. The scouts come back, and the report is, pretty alarming. They say this thing, meaning the Yellow River, is Sazi, extremely formidable. They report that the southern barbarians, which is what the Jin called the Song forces, are defending it. And get this, they have Sazid cannons positioned right at the mouth of the river, or key crossing points. So Wuzu, even with this gigantic army, is seriously worried. This river is a massive problem.
Right, just try to picture that. 300,000 soldiers completely stalled by a river. And the Yellow River, even now, it's a huge, unpredictable beast of a river. Trying to get an army that size across it in ancient times with defenders who apparently have cannons, it's almost unthinkable. So the big question becomes, how on earth do you overcome an obstacle like that, especially if a direct assault looks suicidal?
Yeah, it's not just a physical barrier. It's like a giant strategic checkmate waiting to happen. It could decide the whole war. And this brings us to another really key figure, someone whose brilliance isn't really about fighting, but about negotiation and cunning, Lu Yu. Now, he's originally from Shandong. He'd actually surrendered to the Jin earlier on, and he's done pretty well for himself under them. He holds the title King of Lu. Quite powerful. So, Lu Yu is out on his boat one day, and he sees another vessel. This one belongs to a northern prince, and it has these incredibly dazzling flags. His official points it out, explains it's a pearl treasure seal cloud banner, very exclusive, only for northern princes, a real symbol of status. And Lu Yu, seeing this, clearly wants it. He wants that symbol. So he decides he's going to go visit Wuzu.
Which is a bold move, isn't it? Why would a king, who already seems pretty powerful, risk ticking off his boss, the main Jin prince, just to ask for a flag? And Wuzu's first reaction kind of proves the point. He's angry. He basically says, what have you possibly done to deserve my banner? He sees it as completely out of line.
Right. Sounds crazy. But Lu Yu, he's got something up his sleeve. He makes this incredibly audacious promise. He says, Lord, give me this banner, and I promise you the Yellow River can be crossed. Immediately. A flag.
Yeah.
in exchange for crossing an impassable river.
Right.
It just sounds impossible.
It's an incredible trade-off, isn't it? The audacity is just wow. You have this highly symbolic object, the Pearl Treasure Seal Cloud Banner. It represents immense status and authority, and he's trading it, or rather, Wuzu is trading access to it for what seems like a military miracle. Wuzu may be seeing a chance, maybe not fully grasping Lu Yu's plan. He actually agrees.
So Lu Yu gets the banner and immediately puts it up on his own boat. And the trick works, at least at first. Other ministers escorting the fleet see that special banner. They assume it must be Wuzu's boat, so they all rush over to protect him, gather around. Then Lu Yu steps out and clarifies, nope, banner's mine now. A gift from Wuzu.
Imagine their faces. Utter confusion.
Exactly. So these ministers, totally bewildered, go straight to Wuzu asking what's going on. And Wuzu explains Lu Yu's promise. He told me if I gave him the banner, he'd get us across the river.
The Lu Yu, right? And this fancy banner he's got.
That's the one, the pearl-embroidered cloud banner. Sounds impressive.
It does. But banners don't cross rivers. He has this massive problem, how to get across the Yellow River safely, but also, make an entrance, show some authority.
So his solution isn't brute force. It's subtle. He actually disguises himself, puts on simple clothes, hops in a fast little boat.
Okay, why?
The plan is to make it look like a chance encounter.
Yeah.
He wants to fortuitously bump into Rong, who's the 2Y military commissioner over on the other side. It's all staged.
Calculated chance. Smart. But he doesn't just say hello, does he? He brings up some history.
Right away. He goes for the connection, claims Rong is his daughter's family's relative, like instantly creating a bond.
And wasn't there something about saving his life, too?
Yep, he throws that in. It's rapport, obligation, all before the real pitch.
Clever. And then comes the actual temptation.
Oh, yeah. Lu Yu lays it on thick, paints this picture of amazing glory, huge rewards, waiting for Rong if he switches sides, joins the Jin kingdom.
And he seals the deal with a personal promise.
A big one. He basically says, defect, and I'll make sure you get a royal title, a Wang Tu, a princedom. That's quite the lure for someone ambitious.
And Rong bites hard.
He does. He agrees to betray everything. Offers to, and this is the phrase used, present the Yellow River to the Jin.
Wow. Just hand it over?
Exactly. And he plans to do it when the coast is clear. General Yufei is away. Another key figure, Zhang Suo, is elsewhere. Vulnerable moment.
It just shows how personal ambition can totally overshadow loyalty, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So Lu Yu heads back to his boss, Wuzu, feeling pretty pleased with himself, takes all the credit, naturally.
But Wuzu's reaction is interesting. He's not just celebrating, is he?
Not entirely. Wuzu is sharp, cynical maybe. He immediately pegs Rong as a traitor, thinks, anyone swayed that easily is fundamentally untrustworthy.
Sees him as self-serving, country-selling.
Precisely. And it makes Wuzu look down on the Southern Song leader, Kang Wang, for even having guys like Rong in charge. It shows Wuzu's pragmatic, maybe bleak view of people.
But he'll still use the betrayal, of course.
Oh, absolutely. He immediately starts planning with his own strategist, Hamichi. They get ready to exploit this opening.
So the plan moves forward. How does the crossing actually happen?
The very next day, things are put in motion. As it starts getting dark, Wuzu leads his forces to the Yellow River. Lu Yu is guiding them.
Using the dusk for cover makes sense.
And who's waiting there on the bank? Rong, ready to make it official.
The big moment of betrayal.
He formally welcomes Wuzu, kneels down, greets the Wolf Lord. That's Wuzu's title here. No turning back now.
And the payoff for Rong.
Instant. Hamichi suggests it, and Wuzu doesn't hesitate. Right then and there, he makes Rong the Prince of Zhao.
Zhao. Just like that. Prince Traitor. But what about Rong's own soldiers? Are they thrilled about their commander's promotion?
Huh? Not quite. As soon as word gets out that Rong is defected, it's total chaos among his troops.
They don't follow him.
No way. They panic. They scatter, run off in all directions. It shows you, doesn't it? You can buy one guy's loyalty, maybe, but you can't just buy an army's heart.
A stark difference. So Wuzu sees this chaos. What does he do?
Wuzu's practical. He doesn't get bogged down by the fleeing soldiers. He basically tells Lu Yu and Rong, you guys sort out the boats, grabs his axe, and pushes his own troops forward. Keep the momentum.
Okay, so the betrayal worked. Wuzu's across the river. The plan seems to be succeeding, despite the messy details.
It looks that way. But now comes the unpredictable part, the real twist.
Enter Ji King, an officer in Yufei's camp, and the story mentions something funny about him just before this.
Yeah, it's It's kind of amusing. Apparently, since his general, Yu Fei, left for the capital, Ji King had been sober for several days, which was unusual for him.
A rare moment of clarity. And what happens during this sober spell?
Well, luck, or maybe good soldiering, intervenes. Some Jin spies, disguised as fishermen, get caught by soldiers from Yu Fei's camp.
So Ji King gets involved.
He does. And remarkably, in his sober state, he interrogates them successfully, gets the crucial intel. Wuzu is crossing the river. He's done his job brilliantly.
So he gets rewarded for this, right?
He does. The marshal sends him a reward. 10 jars of wine and 10 sheep. A big thank you.
Oh, dear. I see where this is going.
Yep. That reward marks the immediate end of Ji King's brief sobriety. He decides he's earned it, says something like, "I'll just have this today, worry about tomorrow later," and proceeds to get completely, utterly dead drunk.
Wow, talk about timing. And it's right then, isn't it, that the alarm sounds?
Exactly. While Ji King is totally plastered, the warning comes. Wuzu's crossed. He's almost here. Run.
But Ji King, he doesn't run, even drunk.
Nope. He refuses point blank. Apparently, he keeps slurring that his big brother Yu Fei told him to guard the river mouth. Duty calls. Even when you can barely stand, he's going to fight.
What must he have looked like?
The description is fantastic. He's on his horse, swaying like a willow in the wind. His head's bobbing like bamboo, eyes all hazy. But he's got his wolf-tooth club. It's pure drunken determination.
And Wuzu sees this spectacle coming towards him. What's his first reaction?
He just laughs, basically. Writes him off completely, calls him a drunkard, a wine ghost, thinks he's just some random soused soldier.
So he underestimates him hugely.
Totally. Wuzu even offers to just let him go, like, go sleep it off, come back when you're sober. He sees Ji King as zero threat, an annoyance at best.
Big mistake. What does Ji King do?
Fueled by booze and maybe righteous anger,
Yeah.
Ji King shouts an insult back, calls Wuzu a dog slave, which is a really nasty insult.
Oh, that would sting.
And then, incredibly, Ji King attacks Wuzu with his club. This drunk guy just charges the enemy commander.
No way. What happens?
Wuzu is furious now. The insult, the audacity. He swings back hard with his axe. Ji King somehow manages to block it, but the force numbs his arms. And whack! Wuzu slices his helmet clean off. Whoa. Close call. So Ji King decides maybe fighting wasn't the best idea.
Yeah, that sobered him up a little, maybe. He turns his horse and bolts. Flees!
Okay, so he runs. But what about his men? Do they scatter like Rong's?
And here's the key difference. No. These are Yu Fei's guys, the 800 picked soldiers. They don't abandon Ji King, even though he's drunk and running. They stick with him. That's loyalty. That's discipline.
That's a huge contrast to Rong's troops earlier.
Massive. And this is where it gets really weirdly brilliant. Ji King is fleeing, right? But he keeps doing something strange.
What's that?
He keeps ducking behind trees or hills, then popping back out just to yell insults at Wuzu. Then he runs off again down these little winding paths.
Taunting him while running away.
Exactly. And Wuzu is so enraged by this drunkard who insulted him and won't just stay beaten, he chases him. Alone.
Alone. He leaves his army.
He gets drawn further and further away. Ji King keeps leading him on, deeper into the darkness, down these confusing trails for over 21. That's like, what, 7 or 8 miles? So Ji King, the drunkard, has basically led the enemy general on a wild goose chase, completely separating him from his main force.
Pretty much. Wuzu is furious, lost in the dark, totally isolated, all because he couldn't resist chasing the wine ghost he initially dismissed. Accidental genius. Drunken strategy.
Wuzu. He's alone, lost, totally disoriented after chasing this other character, Ji King.
Right, the chase just completely threw him off course.
On breaks, and he finds himself in this really humble village. Towering trees, bamboo fences, simple cottages, very peaceful, almost jarringly so given his situation.
Yeah, quite a contrast to the battlefield he's probably used to.
He gets off his horse, ties it up, and just walks right into a house where the gate's half open, sits down and calls out, "Is anyone here?" What's your first thought seeing this powerful figure doing something so ordinary, almost desperate?
It is striking, isn't it? I mean, for a prince, a top general, to be that lost, that alone,
Yeah.
just walking into a stranger's house, it really speaks to his vulnerability in that moment. He's kind of stripped of all his usual status and power. He's relying on, well, just basic human interaction. And that really sets up what happens next.
It really does, because what happens next is pretty dramatic. An old woman, maybe 80 years old, white hair, comes out leaning on a cane. She asks who he is.
Mm-hmm.
And Wuzu stands up bold as brass. I am the fourth prince of the great Jin nation.
And her reaction.
Immediate, no hesitation. She lifts that cane and just whacks him right on the head.
Wow. Okay. Just like that.
Just like that. And what's remarkable maybe is Wuzu doesn't strike back. He just takes it. What do you make of that non-retaliation from a warrior prince?
Well, that is fascinating. I mean, not hitting back against an old woman even after being struck.
Right.
Is it discipline? Is it shock? Maybe, just maybe, a flicker of something like compassion given his own vulnerable state. Or maybe he's just assessing the situation.
Could be. And then she tells him why. Through tears, she explains that his army, Wuzu's army, killed her only son, Li Ruoshui.
Ah, okay, so there's the motive.
Exactly. He was her only support. She feels she has absolutely nothing left to lose. She cries out something like, "Today I see my son's murderer. What's the point of my old life? Better to just fight." And she keeps hitting him, just overcome with grief.
That's incredibly powerful. The raw grief confronting the source of her pain directly.
And this is where it gets really interesting. Wuzu, this formidable prince, actually listens. He hears her out. And when she finally says her son was Li Ruoshui, the text tells us Wuzu felt a wave of sadness.
Sadness, that specific word.
Yeah, for a general responsible for, countless deaths, that's a surprising emotion to highlight. What's your take? Is that sadness real empathy, or could it be maybe something more calculated?
That's really the core of this whole scene, isn't it? It's genuinely fascinating. Is it a true moment of human connection? Does he suddenly see the direct personal cost of his war in this woman's tears? Or, flip side, is it a very smart, calculated move? He's alone, disoriented, deep in enemy territory. Maybe placating her, making sure she doesn't raise an alarm, is actually a shrewd tactical decision. Keep things quiet.
A way to manage the immediate threat, perhaps?
Could be. And just as this emotional, tense moment is happening, his military advisor, Hamichi, shows up with soldiers. They tracked Wuzu's horse.
Right on cue. So Hamichi's arrival, that shifts the power dynamic again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What does Wuzu do then? How does he handle this very delicate situation now that he has backup?
His actions are really quick, very deliberate, and they definitely lean into that idea of, let's call it, calculated benevolence, or maybe genuine atonement. It's hard to say for sure.
What does he do specifically?
Okay, so first, he introduces Hamichi to Li's mother. Then, amazingly, he reveals that Hamichi has actually preserved Li Ruoshui's body.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and he promises the remains will be returned for a proper burial. That's huge. Then, he orders 500 taels of silver to be given to her.
Which is a fortune, right?
Yeah, a massive sum. Enough for her to live comfortably for years. And then, maybe the most strategic part, he orders a flag placed at her door.
What's the flag for?
It's basically a do not disturb sign for his own troops, a guarantee that no Jin soldiers will bother her. Protection.
So he's covering all the bases. Emotional closure, financial security, physical safety.
Exactly. Addresses her grief, gives her money, ensures her safety. After all that, he just says goodbye and leaves with his army. It's quite a resolution to that encounter.
Okay, so let's pivot now. While all that's happening with Wuzu, we shift focus to the other side. Vice Marshal Yu Fei. He's leading this huge Song army, 100,000 soldiers, towards the imperial tombs.
A massive force.
And the first thing he does as they approach the tombs, he orders a quiet encampment. Out of reverence, the text says, for the ancestors.
Shows his character, that respect for tradition, even amidst a military campaign.
But he doesn't just stop at setting up camp respectfully, does he? His strategic mind is always working.
Oh, absolutely not. Yu Fei immediately starts surveying the area, specifically this place called Aiwa Mountain. What does that tell you about how he thinks?
He's instantly assessing the terrain, not just for camping, but for opportunity.
Exactly. He's looking for offensive and defensive possibilities. He thinks to himself, basically, this mountain, perfect spot for an ambush.
His goal isn't just survival, it's dominance.
Right. He wants to lure the enemy in, score a decisive victory, and really assert Song control over the Central Plains, the heartland. This is about regaining territory and sending a message. Big picture thinking.
And it's right while Yu Fei is deep in these strategic thoughts that Ji King shows up. Remember Ji King, the guy Wuzu was chasing earlier?
Ah, yes, the connection. And how does Ji King look?
Terrible. Completely disheveled, defeated, and Yu Fei sees him and instantly knows. It's almost like prophecy.
What does he deduce?
He says Ji King's presence means the Yellow River has been lost. Just like that. And he's right.
Wow. So Ji King confirms it.
He admits it, yeah. But then he immediately tries to shift the blame. Says it was Cao Rong, the prefect of the two Huai regions, who surrendered it. And then Ji King gives this really vivid account of fighting Wuzu personally, calls Wuzu very formidable.
Which, coming from a general, means something.
Definitely. He describes how Wuzu actually chopped off his helmet plume, missing his head by a hair's breadth. Talk about a close call.
Yikes. So he barely escaped.
And then just to lighten the mood, or maybe mock him slightly, another general, Ni Gao, pipes up.
Oh, New Gao. What does he say?
He jokes, I thought some shaggy sea demon had walked in, looking at Ji King's mess.
Okay, bit of barracks humor. Maybe not what G. King wanted to hear right then.
Probably not. But Yu Fei, he is not amused. He cuts right through the excuses and the jokes. He gives Ji King this incredibly stern command.
What's the order?
He tells Ji King he has to go back. Alone. No troops.
Alone to do what?
To lure Wuzu, the guy who almost killed him, back to Iowa Mountain, that perfect ambush spot Yu Fei identified.
Whoa. That's a suicide mission almost.
It's basically redeem yourself or don't come back. Yu Fei says, if you cannot lure Wuzu here, do not return to see me.
It brings us to this powerful proverb mentioned right in the source text.
Ah, yes.
Digging crisp bones from a tiger's mouth, plucking a bright pearl from beneath a green dragon's neck.
Wow. That's quite an image.
It is.